The city lights blurred into a watercolor smear as I raced through the rain-slicked streets. My breath came in ragged gasps, each one a puff of white in the frigid night air. I didn't know what was chasing me, but I knew it wasn't human. It was a presence, a cold, heavy feeling that clung to me like a shroud, whispering dread into the very marrow of my bones. Every shadow seemed to twist and writhe, reaching for me with inky tendrils. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the symphony of the storm. I risked a glance over my shoulder. For a split second I saw it. A form coalesced from the darkness between streetlights, a shifting, amorphous mass of shadow, with eyes that burned like dying embers. A guttural growl, more felt than heard, vibrated through the pavement, and I stumbled, my ankle twisting painfully. Panic flared, hot and sharp. This was it. I was done for. Scrabbling backward, I pushed myself against the cold, wet brick of an alley wall, a dead end. The creature loomed, its form solidifying, a nightmare given shape. The air grew impossibly cold, and the sound of the rain faded into a dull, distant roar. Just as the creature lunged, its shadowy claws extended, a figure dropped from the rooftops above, landing silently between us. She was a silhouette against the faint glow of the city, but I could make out the determined set of her jaw and the fierce light in her eyes. She held no weapon, yet she radiated an aura of pure, unyielding power that made the air crackle. The dark spirit recoiled, hissing like water on a hot skillet. She didn't even look at me. Her focus was entirely on the creature of darkness. "You will not touch him," she said, her voice calm but ringing with an authority that shook the very foundations of the alley. It wasn't a threat. It was a statement of fact. The shadowy thing hesitated, its burning eyes flickering between her and me. I could feel its frustration, its malevolence, like a physical force. It let out another low growl, a sound of pure hatred, and tested the invisible barrier she seemed to project. She took a step forward, and light, a soft, silvery luminescence, began to emanate from her hands. It wasn't harsh or blinding, but gentle and warm, pushing back the oppressive cold. "This one is under my protection," she continued, her voice unwavering. "Leave now, or be unmade." The creature shrieked, a sound that scraped against my soul, and lashed out with a tendril of pure shadow. The light from her hands flared, meeting the darkness head-on. There was no explosion, just a silent, violent collision of opposing forces. The shadow dissolved into wisps of smoke upon contact with her light. I could only watch, frozen, as this supernatural battle unfolded. She moved with a grace that was both beautiful and terrifying, a whirlwind of light and shadow. She wasn't just fighting it. She was commanding the very essence of light itself. Each parry, each block, was effortless, a dance of ancient power. The dark spirit, for all its terrifying presence, was on the defensive, unable to breach the perimeter of her radiant shield. It seemed to shrink with every passing moment, its form becoming less defined, its power waning. The creature tried to reform, to gather the ambient darkness of the alley, but she was relentless. She pressed her advantage, stepping forward, the silvery light from her hands expanding, consuming the shadows, cleansing the air. The creature let out one final, desperate scream of rage and pain as her light completely enveloped it. For a moment, there was a blinding flash, and then silence. The oppressive cold vanished, the sound of the rain returned, and the alley was just an alley again. The only thing left of the creature was a faint, acrid smell, like burnt ozone and old regrets. She stood there for a moment, the light around her slowly fading until she was just a woman in the rain again. Then she turned to me, her eyes, which had been burning with celestial power moments before, were now soft, filled with a concern that was profoundly human. "Are you all right?" she asked, her voice gentle. I tried to speak, but only a choked sound came out. I managed a weak nod. She walked over and knelt beside me, her presence now comforting rather than intimidating. "You're safe now." She offered me a hand. Her touch was warm, real. As I took it, a sense of profound peace washed over me, chasing away the last dregs of terror. What was that thing?" I finally managed to ask, my voice hoarse. She looked down the alley, a flicker of something ancient and sad in her eyes. A lost soul. Something that forgot the light. "And you?" I asked, looking at her, truly seeing her for the first time. She wasn't an angel or a goddess, just a woman with an impossible power and a heavy burden. She gave me a small, weary smile. "I'm a guardian," she said simply. "I try to keep the balance. Some souls get lost in the dark, and it's my job to guide them back, or stop them when they refuse." She helped me to my feet, my twisted ankle protesting with a dull ache. "You were a target," she explained, her gaze serious. "There's a light in you, a spark. Things from the dark are drawn to it, like moths to a flame. They want to extinguish it." The idea sent a fresh shiver down my spine, but this time it wasn't from fear. It was a strange sense of awe. "Why me?" I asked. She shrugged, a surprisingly normal gesture. "Who knows? Sometimes the brightest lights are in the most unexpected places. You just need to learn how to protect it." She looked at me intently. "This won't be the last time they come for you. Now that they know you're here, they'll be back." My heart sank. I had just survived one nightmare, and now she was telling me there were more to come. "But I don't know how to fight them," I said, panic creeping back into my voice. "I don't have whatever that was." I gestured vaguely at the spot where the creature had dissolved. "You do," she said, her voice firm, filled with a conviction that I couldn't help but believe. "It's inside you. You just haven't learned to call it forth yet. Your fear is like a veil, hiding it from you." She tapped a finger over my heart. "The light is in here. It's your courage, your hope, your will to live. That's the most powerful weapon there is against the dark." She began to walk me out of the alley, back toward the lighted street. The rain had softened to a drizzle. I can't be with you every moment of every day, she said. You have to learn to be your own guardian. Don't be afraid of the shadows. Acknowledge them, but don't let them consume you. Focus on your light. Nurture it. Let it grow. We reached the end of the alley, and the normal world of streetlights and passing cars felt both alien and wonderfully, beautifully mundane. She stopped and turned to face me one last time. Remember what you saw tonight, she said. Darkness is powerful, yes, but light is persistent. It always finds a way. She gave my shoulder a reassuring squeeze. Be brave, and don't walk down dark alleys alone anymore. With a final, enigmatic smile, she seemed to melt back into the shadows she had just commanded, disappearing as silently as she had arrived. I stood there for a long time, the rain washing over my face, my mind reeling. I was no longer just a regular person caught in a storm. I was someone with a light, a target for the dark. But I was also someone who had seen the darkness defeated. I looked down at my hands, half expecting them to glow. They didn't, but I could feel it, a tiny warm spark deep inside me. It was small and it was flickering, but it was there. And as I started the long walk home, I made a promise to myself. I would protect that spark. I would learn to be my own guardian. I would not let the darkness win. Thank you for watching. If you've ever felt a struggle between light and dark within yourself, know that you're not alone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from the shadows.